This is the video you need if you're interested in opening a pharmacy in South Africa. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Farmers. I'm Patricia, your trusted pharmapreneur, and in this video, I got some updates for y'all. I think the last video I did on pharmacy licensing in South Africa was about 2 or 3 years ago. And it kind of still stands, but if you want the latest info and scoop, you gotta watch this one until the very end. Okay, so if you're a pharmacist, perfect. This is your industry, go for it. If you're not a pharmacist, you will need to hire one because pharmacists are needed in pharmacies. All right, so the two phases I'm going to kind of divide this into are pre-licensing and post-licensing. First and foremost, before starting a pharmacy, the first thing you need to think about is a premise, a venue, a site, a pharmacy facility. Okay, if you don't have a place to run your pharmacy from, you have no pharmacy. So if you need scouting services or if you can look around various geographical areas that you're interested in, that's the first thing to do. I would say secure 1 or 2 really good premises, but before you sign the lease or start building, double check with a consultant to make sure the site is going to be GPP compliant. That means good pharmacy practice compliant, according to the pharmacy rules, because yes, you can find the perfect spot. Maybe it's even in a rural area where you think it's not going to be a problem, but according to your layout, your architectural plans, or maybe somebody who registered just before you and hasn't yet started, you may be disqualified, maybe due to distance, to population density, or to the layout of your plans in that area. So check, double check, and make sure. This, by the way, is the one factor that gets the most amount of rejections throughout my over 100 plus pharmacy consultations and licensing done to clients. So be careful. Once you have a premise, once you have your lease agreements ready to sign, also do check the terms of this lease agreement. A lot of times you'll cheat yourself if you don't know how to negotiate terms. You may request for things like beneficial occupancy, negotiating months of lease, and terms to be included in your contract. Ask a consultant to help you if you're not sure. This can save you thousands of monies, rands, if you do it carefully. And an example of that is making the contract dependent or contingent on obtaining the license so that you're not stuck with a rental that you don't need in the end. Next, you want to sign that lease and begin. If you played your cards right, the landlords are giving you about 3 months before you have anything to pay, and this will coincide with the amount of time it takes for your license application to be reviewed, assessed, inspected, and granted. To conclude the pre-licensing phase, you're going to need floor plans that are architecturally and professionally drawn. You're going to need a pharmacist that co-signs for your pharmacy application. If you don't have one, request for an interim RP at any consultant of your choice. Then you can also get all your documentation ready and then do your submission. There is a fee to pay. Pay that into the South African Pharmacy Council accounts and submit. Once you've submitted, the waiting time begins. You'll have to wait between 10 to 12 weeks at best. Sometimes it's a little quicker, but most times it gets a bit slower. So 3 to 4 months on average is the hopeful waiting period. Now we can officially move to the post-licensing service. Once you get your recommendation, once the Department of Health has officially given you your certificate, you now have your license. Your post-licensing activities can now begin. Here, you will need to record the pharmacy with the Pharmacy Council. You will need to pay your annual fees, your annual registration fees, as well as your annual responsible pharmacist fees. You need to start recruiting. If you're going to need assistance, if you're going to need cashiers, cleaners, or any staff that you potentially want to work in your pharmacy, do it now. You also need to get a practice number as well as register with all the major medical aids. If you can't do any of these, get a consultant. Once you're registered, you have a practice number, you can then apply to become a provider with the medical aids and a preferred provider once that time comes too. But it doesn't end here. Now the grueling work begins. Now your facility needs to be fitted and you'll need shelves, counters, paint, lights, you'll need electrical wiring, you'll need plumbing, you may even need installation for the networking of your software. You'll need hardware, you will need software to run your pharmacy programs on, and you will need stock. You gotta create stock accounts with manufacturers or wholesalers and anyone you please that will be providing you with the medication that you need. If you need help with any of these activities, get a consultant. Lastly, you're almost ready to open. You're gonna need to check that everything is working well, that the paint smell is gone, and that your doors are ready to open. You might want to plan a little launch, to let the neighborhood or the community know that you're about to swing open your doors and to start getting patients through your pharmacy. If you need a launch marketing campaign, if you want to increase your foot traffic, then you can also get a consultant. Congratulations, you're now all ready to go. Now, financials. In previous videos, I had mentioned that 500 to 600 Rand was gonna be sufficient. Yes, that is still the case if you're looking on the lower end of things. But in this economy and with this new VAT situation, if you can have more for cushion purposes, we always recommend a contingency fund to help with salaries and replenishing until the pharmacy really takes off at minimum 6 months plus. So costs-wise, pre-licensing, I would say about 70K, and cost-wise, post-licensing, the balance of the 600, so 525 plus. Bear in mind, you still have to factor in things like rental, salaries, your overheads, like I mentioned. So this is just the startup costs, and then you have your running costs. If you would like to obtain financial forecasts to see your potential trajectory, do consult with a consultant yet again to make that happen. I hope this video was insightful, that you really caught a few gems. Let us know in the comments below. If you require any of these services, Farmers is available and ready and able to assist you, as we have been doing this for years now for over 100 different pharmacies. Contact us at the address below or phone in and let us know how we can assist you to open your own pharmacy.